dimensional. I am abundant. I bring to existence all that I want, and I done tapped into the God in me. Cut my locks off and switched up the vibe in me. Like how I manifest within, how I choose to defend. Who I label my friends, how I make amends. Cause I'm choosing laughter, it's peace that I'm after. I abracadabra, then poof, chakras blast off. My soul take this cast off, projection surpassing. Obsidian protection in case this trip lasts long. I see with 3 eyes, that's why my crown headstrong. Corona is viral to spirits living dead wrong vibration.
I just wanna chill around positive vibes. Nothing negative, it will fuck up my vibe. Sit back and chill and just sip wine. I came from a dark place, now I'm living in light. Came from a dark place, yeah, now I'm doing with the light. Yeah, now I'm like making moves. Yeah, I be always on the flights. Yeah, I be on a mission for the bank nowadays. Why these niggas hating on a nigga nowadays? I've been on a mission with the light nowadays. I ain't fucking with the darkness nowadays. You need to stop with that. You need to stop with that hate and all these man-made religions. It's only one savior, one law, and one holy kindred. So stop that.
My God too big for only one religion, only one vision. If we a reflection of one, why the division? People miss the lesson, looking at the mission. People overlooking blessings, too concerned with isms. People coming to confession, no discipline in them. People missing the message, just dancing to the rhythm. Man think they can comprehend the infinite, can't even see the limitations while being symbolist. Why you need these images for your religious stimulant? To see the divine, align, and then go within. To change your outside, undergo internal transformation. No energy is destroyed, we eternal creation. Stand on your square if you seek in circulation. I'm on another frequency, fathom this vibration. I bring a different energy, I know I'm so outstanding. Ahead of toe, respect your location.
Our Father is one, that's why we crushing your idol. We don't break bread with you devils, we setting face to our rivals. You need to stop with that hate and all these man-made religions. It's only one savior, one law, and one holy kindred. So stop. Our Father is one, that's why we crushing your idol. We don't break bread with you devils, we setting face to our rivals. You need to stop with that hate and all these man-made religions. It's only one savior, one law, and one holy.
Greetings.
Peace, y'all. Welcome to Virgo Virgin Talk. I am Sunshine Monet L.
And I'm Danielle.
Today is actually episode 2 of season 2. So yay, we are here. We made it. And this is our first episode of our 3-part series, Aboriginal Ancestors. We're starting off with the story of Enki. So we out here.
Yes, it's great how we led right into that. We move like water right into this story because we just flowed like that.
Mm-hmm. Peace, Charlene.
Peace, Charlene. A lot of interesting information we had studied upon with the story of Enki.
Yes.
So Ready to get into it? You got some tea
Let's
over
do
there?
it.
You good?
Yes, I do have my hibiscus tea as I am coming to a close with my monthly.
Okay.
And so, hibiscus tea assists with the root chakra and the feminine, reproductive system and all that fun stuff. So, you know, bringing it to a close with a little hibiscus.
It really helps that it's really, really red too.
Right?
I have some detox over here. I overindulge in sugar. I have some dandelion and green tea and jasmine. Jasmine is not one of my favorite flowers by scent. Um, and I'm gonna tell you honestly, I didn't do the research on the benefits of jasmine in drinking it. For just drinking it. I didn't do that research on it. I was like, oh, might add a little bit of flavor to it. It's a flower.
Yeah, respect. I've
But,
never had, have I? I have had jasmine tea. I've had it with, I want to say with like honeysuckle or warm vanilla or something like that, and that kind of overpowered the jasmine.
yeah,
It was really sweet. So
jasmine is like a very, it's a bottom note.
it's grass.
I
Are you over there
believe.
drinking grass?
I think you have to drink the jasmine by itself in order to taste the flavor. Because I'm never going to taste jasmine along with green tea. Green tea is going to win every time. Green tea and the elderberry and the echinacea. I finally got it. Or Ikian chia.
I have no idea, and I don't want to lie to you.
Yeah, we still trying to figure it out.
Still figuring it out. No idea at all. But with the story Enki, this was pretty interesting story. Like we were able to go back all the way to like, I guess as far back as one could go in civilization with Apsu and Tiamat.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like the top tier gods, the primordial gods.
Well, alongside like Apsu and Tiamat, in correlation to like, it depends on who's telling the story, because it's either the Babylonians, they have their version of Anu and Nama, starting in the beginning of the family tree. So that's where I kind of got confused with. I'm like, well, who started first? Who started with what first?
No, respect. Because then I get some stories where they have Anu and Ki together, and they're actually children of the children of the children. But that's what I mean.
Do we have a slide of that, sis, where we can give our audience a visual?
I don't believe. Okay, so we got Apsu at the top. Right here. And Tiamat down here. They don't have Anshar and Kishar on this one. It kind of just goes into the Anunnakis. These are the Anunnakis.
Hey, I like these pictures.
Yeah, I like those too, right? Those are in People of the Sun book.
Right.
We have this right here.
Yeah, where it's starting out with Enki and then his brother.
This is the Anunnaki that were born up here, but above them, the parents of the Anunnakis were Anu and Ki, and their parents were the primordial sky and earth, Anshar and Kishar. And then above them were the primordial gods Abzu and Tiamat.
And Tiamat was the goddess of the ocean, right? And Apsu was the god of the fresh water.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And so then they gave birth to the earth. And and then the people of the Sun book, and I can even go further and show you guys the cover. Oh, is this another one?
Yep,
Okay,
here
this
we go.
has Namu and Anu, like you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Now you see.
Namu has, okay, I see Tiamat and Abdu.
Mm-hmm. So Namu was the mother goddess who gave birth to all the gods in the cosmos.
Okay.
She was primordial, so meaning the beginning of time. But see, it starts with Anu right there.
Okay, so this kind of puts Tiamat and Abzu on the same level as Enki and Ninta and all them. More so as siblings than as parent to child.
But
That's interesting.
now let's not get it misconstrued though, because Anu did he did marry his daughter or whatever too now. So him and Tiamat were a thing.
Oh yeah, true. Okay. Yeah, that's the same kind of story with Enki. So you have
he hit daddy's son.
right. So we had like, hold on, let's go back a little bit. The way life is divided up. Let's talk about it. So a whole cycle is supposed to be like 24,000 years and is divided into 4. So you have 2 moon cycles and 2 sun cycles. So sun, moon, right? And each one is for like 6,000 years. So right now, well, we're supposed to be entering the sun cycle. We entered the sun cycle in 2000, which makes sense because a lot of people got their awakening either in 2002, 2012, or 2020. And those were when like major planets moved into like major placements as well. If you want to get into that, if you want to get into numerology, if you want to get into like current events, like so many things happen on those spaces that encourage like the awakening into the solar beings and being in tune with the sun and eating, solar foods and wah. And now we're here and still expanding. Moving forward. So we're now entering the sun cycle. So this is how the cycles are broken down into a numerical sense. The 6,000s.
So what year will we be entering into the moon cycle?
Well, we just entered the sun cycle in 2000.
In 2000, right? Yeah, we got a long way to go.
So 8,000 is when we would re-enter the moon cycle. But you gotta realize, like, we kind of slow the movement, so we're still coming out of the moon cycle, and the moon people are still kind of trying to keep control of what's going on. And when I was reading the book, I had like this big ass like, yo, think about it. All the holidays we celebrate be at night. Like Christmas is the night before Christmas. Santa Claus comes at night. You eat cookies at night. Everything happens at night. New Year's is you countdown is at midnight. You celebrate at midnight. Valentine's Day, you do all the romantic stuff at nighttime. Halloween, you trick or treating at night. Thanksgiving, you're eating dinner. Like summertime holidays, like 4th of July, Memorial Day, and all them. Like you'll be barbecuing and shit, but like the fireworks is at nighttime. It's like, damn, you're right. We have been in like a moon cycle. Like, well, all the holidays, the people we let control shit can't even be in the fucking sun.
They're probably the people of the moon then, sis. You remember we were talking a long time ago about like how the sun is of the black people are people of the sun, and hell, the white folks are probably the people of the moon, because that's who's running the controller things. It's slowing down. It is slowing down. It's changing. You know, cause yeah, them folk can't be out there in the heat
And
like
that's
that.
interesting too when you get into the as above, so below, because we had that dialogue about the moon being plasma and just reflecting, and we know that that's what the color white does. It just reflects, and that's also
Mm-hmm.
what white people do. They just
Mm-hmm.
reflect.
Mm-hmm.
But
Because if
you
you
know,
look at the moon during the daytime, like maybe the sun and maybe the moon is reflecting all off the light of the stars. Um,
yeah, that's all it does. It just
yeah,
be like the same color as whatever star is around, or it be
right.
like the reflection of the colors off the earth.
Right. And then right, as it's big, like how it is like
Hmm.
sometime in the evening. Or like during the daytime, it reflects the colors of the clouds in the sky. You know, it's not as illuminate as it is during the day as it is at night. It almost kind of look like you can see through that sucker.
It does. It does. Especially when it's close enough and it's near
Mhm,
like a bright yellow star or a blue star near like
mhm,
Jupiter's type stars.
mhm,
It does look pretty see-through. And then when it's super close to Earth, it looks very
mhm.
see-through. Especially as like a wan and gibbous moon,
Yes.
where it's like, a big chunk of it is missing. That area that you can or can't see is just like very, I don't know. It makes the rest of the moon look very opaque. Like this
Yeah.
opacity is it's kind of low over there.
Yeah.
Um, so that whole theory that the moon is kind of plasma and not really like a solid rock is I'm starting to vibe with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, coming back to this, we're currently in our we've only been in the sun cycle for 22 years. And you figure we got 6,000 years of this, so
We got 6,000 years of catch up.
yeah, we're about to have fun. It's our time, cuz.
Yeah.
So that's how the time is split up. Um, and then I was able to get into like the different, I guess, phases of humanity. So first you got Apsu and Tiamat. The Earth, the all of Earth was called Tiamat. Um, she was all of Earth being water, and that was around the time when Earth was just water. It was just water everywhere. Um, and then what is it? Lamlu, the deity of war, and Lahamu, the lady of battles.
Mm-hmm.
They arrived, and that's when we started getting like the volcanoes and all of that coming out of the waters and earth spouting out. But historically speaking, they were destroyed by meteor showers about like 17 million years ago.
Yeah,
uh
it was a lot. It was a lot of hell they had to go through to even reach the planet of Earth. Um,
yeah,
before
we went through
they got
hell phases.
this far. Yeah,
We've come so far.
yeah, we went through a lot, yo. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. Just coming from the planet Nibiru. All right.
Right, I knew we wasn't from here because I did
Mm-hmm.
not feel it in my spirit.
Our purpose was because we were looking for in search of gold. We were looking for in search of gold, because gold is rare on the planet Nibiru, but it's abundantly here in uh on Earth.
Yeah,
So
near the equator and stuff. That's
yeah,
where it be at. So
yeah.
after they was destroyed by meteor showers, then you have the story of Anshar and Kushar, which is Anshar is the foremost of the heaven, and Kushar is the foremost of the firm lands. So now we have a separation of heaven and earth after the
Mhm.
meteor showers came and kind of solidified the earth and started putting like rocks in between the waters. Now we have a little separation going on, which
Mm,
confirms the theory that air is
mm,
really water and we're just in levels of water or levels of
mm,
air, and
mm.
comparing densities, and it gives us more and more dense. We can either go from air or water, however way you want to go, but still same shit.
Yeah, water is just a different type of air that we cannot breathe.
And if the earth part came from meteor showers that just so happened to clump together with all the water that was everywhere, then that just further proves the theory that we just a little floating dust nugget in space and we ain't no fucking circle. Dust
No,
nuggets
we're
look
not.
like dust nuggets.
We're a dust nugget. Like we are nothing compared to what is out there. Like if you have a whole meteor that can come in and destroy all the dinosaurs or whatever, you know what I'm saying, wipe out every living thing on the earth or almost, except for like what the cockroach survived and some fern trees,
Mhm.
some fern plants. But yeah, that just shows we are just a tiny, tiny, tiny grain of sand. Well, a dust nugget. It's smaller than a dust.
Little oblong shaped dust nugget.
Oh, can we show them a shape that we've been researching? Because these people believe that the Earth was
Do
not
we have
a
that?
globe. Okay, it's not. My daughter
I
said
don't
it's
think I
not
have
either.
that in this one.
Hmm?
I don't think I have that in this PowerPoint. I
Okay,
forgot that one.
okay.
Y'all lucky. We got y'all next. We got an episode of borders. We gonna definitely pull up those maps in the border episode we got.
Okay, well, you know what? I have a picture of ancient Sumer and what they reflect how they designed their city and what the shape of the earth is. Okay.
Hold on 1 second. I'm about to make you bigger.
And on it,
There you go. Oh, that's nice.
like a space.
It does look like a spaceship.
Now I'm about to show you a picture of flat earth.
That's the way a lot
Yes.
of
And
villages
they're
were built
spacious,
once upon a time.
and
And
they're
yeah.
spacious when they're traveling on the way to earth. Um, as we're mentioning the backstory, as I'm mentioning the backstory, they were powered by water. And so, yeah,
Mhm.
they were fueled by water and stuff. Yeah, had me thinking too for a little bit. Like, what if cars could really run on water, and they just make us
They
pay?
could.
Come on now.
The guy who had his cars running on water, wasn't he? Wasn't he cute?
What? There
That
was
man
somebody
was
who
drowning.
actually did that.
Yeah, my
Wow!
man's was murked.
Wow!
They and ironically, he was drowned. Drowned.
No, they drowned
How
him.
do you say they drowned him?
They
He
drowned.
drowned.
They drowned him.
They drowned him.
Wow.
Yeah, craziness. Cause
What a way.
where we fuck up at every time we do something or we create something, the first thing we want to do is go tell these motherfuckers, look what I made. Put me on your
I don't tell
platform.
nobody
Put me in your
shit.
newspapers. Put me on your
Girl, please.
Instagram and your Facebook. And then they wonder
If
why
I
they
find out
wake
my
up
car
dead.
running on water, if
Y'all
I found
keep
out my car
trusting the
running on water,
motherfuckers
I
that
ain't telling
don't
nobody.
like me. For real. I'm not telling no fucking body, bro. I'm gonna send an invitation in the mail to everybody. Like, hey,
Right.
you invited to my crib on this day at this time. And when
Yeah.
you get
I'll
that
let
piece
my
of shit up, if you don't show up, that's on you. You man.
it is running. It's running.
Yeah. But bust no. If y'all ever get a paper invitation in the mail, it's important. And pulls up. It's
Hmm.
the reason why you ain't get that invitation on the event break. Don't play with me.
Yeah.
These niggas
Right.
can't know shit. They not our friends. They not our fucking allies, bro. They hate us. They
So
hate.
when
It's not even us. It's nature. They hate nature because they can't survive in nature by themselves. They need supplements. They need help. They need assistance. They're not doing well here. And then they look at us and we do well here.
they don't even
Imagine
have
how
a
you would
planet that
feel.
they came from. They don't even
We
have a
were like
planet they originally
roaches
came
to
from.
them. It don't matter what the fuck they do to us. We just keep surviving, and some of us don't make it. RIP to the ones that didn't make it, but for the most part, we still be going, and they baffled and irritated.
I go to
That's
just
what you
kill
gotta
you.
know, right? These
Right.
motherfuckers will die. They will die. Cause we
They
baby
multiply.
kids, we
They
fucker.
okay.
We baby kids.
You ain't baby kids, yo.
We inky kids. We don't give a fuck.
Okay. They don't know who they fucking with. Oh,
Don't
here
know.
is the flat earth picture. Look at that. Is all the
It's pretty. I
Antarctica
want that
surrounding
on a
that?
shirt. I want that on a shirt.
I like that.
Just
You
like
want
real
that on a
big on the
shirt?
back.
I can get it to you on a
Yeah.
shirt.
That'd
Yeah,
be
we can
nice.
turn it to a high quality JPEG,
Scooby.
whatever. Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo.
He just likes to hear his voice.
Yeah, he sounds like Yoda. When Yoda would get loud.
He gonna hit puberty and shit. Now he like, ooh,
The
my
one with the
god,
polar
balls in my throat.
ice wall around it.
Right, and that
Yeah.
like makes me think about like how we be going to other celestial bodies and planets and shit. Well, or so they say we do, and it'd be like a big ass layer of ice on the outside of them. Like that's probably how it is trying to get over here to us. It'd be a big ass layer of ice. So, ooh, what if they think they're going to other planets, but really they're going to our outer core where we're just surrounded by ice?
Right. Because you can't just break through planets like that. If
No.
Anu had a you know, shoot meteors out the way with high powered H2O water guns, super water guns, and modulated water guns, and had to rest and stop and refill his fuel on some other planet, might have been Mars.
Mm-hmm.
He had to look out for meteor showers and all this other stuff. Like, yeah, before you get here, like, yeah, then he had a hard time. You had to get out of his planet. He had to get out of his planet from the jump. And they have way more advanced technology than what we have now. We're like the babies of this shit. That little rocket ship that they say that we went to the moon in, or
that ain't shit.
Cameras and stuff on Mars is nothing. We can't even get a decent. If we landed on Mars already with little robots and stuff, now why we ain't landed on Mars yet? As people,
they got better rockets in their Dollar Tree up there. Little flimsy motherfucking shits we be flying that fall apart in the air.
They let their kids play with that. That's their little Power Wheels for their
Right.
children at day
That's
one.
their first bike and shit.
Yes. So I'm like, yeah. When they came up with the most recent pictures of Mars, I was like, what is that? Y'all couldn't get a decent picture in color or whatever. Like red is all we see since Mars is the red planet, right? But I'm like, okay.
I think that they just be going to like undiscovered lands.
Yes.
And they really, and because they go into the stratosphere or whatever to see these lands, because I believe in floating islands. So because we just dust nuggets and we in orbit, and our orbit is so fucking huge that we could have dust nuggets within our orbit. So I think they just be going to other dust nuggets in our outer spheres, so one of our outer spheres, and be really thinking that they land on something. Oh, dumbass niggas.
It's gotta be like other like pieces of land that broken up, or pieces of comet or just floating around us. I'm like, just think about it. I mean, and the Earth has its own gravitational pull as well as the moon, so you think stuff are not getting stuck in between these, and just floating around us or above us.
I think we got a little floating islands because we got mountains and we got valleys and we got water caves and we got water valleys and water mountains, and then we got whole fucking civilizations underneath that also have lakes and valleys and mountains and hills. Like it's layers to it. So like to say that there aren't, we can say there's layers down here, but we can't say there's layers up there. That makes no sense. We're not going to do that.
Absolutely.
There's layers up there.
There's plenty of layers up there.
I bet you it's hot as shit up there.
Yeah, then about that, like,
Yeah. I want to go like one more layer up. Like I just need a little bit more heat. Just a little bit. I'm cold.
I'm just like, you go closer to like the stratospheres and all that, whatever, I'm saying, it gets a lot hotter up there. So that's another thing too. Like, can your spaceship withstand breaking through all the atmosphere like that? Like, come on.
No, they're not building nothing like that. They can't fathom nothing like that because they're not trying to give credit where credit's due. If you sit up here and turn everything into pseudoscience, Like, what is the basis of your science of creating something that can escape through like the stratosphere? You
I
would
mean,
have to believe that there's some like extra intellectual technology or chemical compound somewhere that's not on this planet.
science that we've been taught that is pseudo, you know.
They think everything is pseudo. If they didn't invent it, it's pseudo.
Oh, what I was going to say, like, oh Lord, I lost it. See, this is why I shouldn't have had all this sugar today. Now I have the detox. I had detox to get my focus back. I need to drink one of my super hard packets.
I do got some like focus joints, but I'm scared to like take them right now because I'm just sitting here. I don't know, like if
What
it's
it's
doing
gonna do.
too much. Yeah, I'm just
You gotta
sitting
be
here.
moving. Sis, it's
Yeah,
okay to take it. You can sit down, stay still, and focus. You don't have to be moving to focus.
this is true. That's for dog.
You're gonna find out a lot of stuff now that you're more relaxed, and how it's gonna benefit you in the end. Okay.
I'm trying to learn how to fucking relax. I'm not relaxing at all over here. I just be in my head.
You're relaxing physically. You ain't got no choice right now, okay? But now mentally, the mental is gonna move in slowly. When you allow yourself to relax now, you're not even gonna feel the pain anymore. Okay, it's gonna be nothing. So you keep focusing on moving. That's why it keeps giving you like
Yeah,
a
I've been
like,
focusing
hey,
on moving since I've been home because everybody make me feel like I'm supposed to be crip walking right now. I'm like, dang, I'm supposed to be walking. I'm supposed to be trying to walk. Like, what am I supposed to be doing? This never happened to me before. Like, what's the healing time on this? What are we doing?
you got to buck on that
Should
now.
I be doing Zumba by January? Where are we at?
You know what? You could probably just do some sit up like exercises or whatever, saying to work your arms out or whatever, like that. You still moving some type of way.
Yeah, I'll
Taekwondo.
be trying to move my leg a little bit, because I'm scared of being stiff, but it hurts, and I'm sad about that.
Yeah, just do your upper body exercises. That's all.
Yeah, that's for dog. Let's get back to Inky.
Yeah.
So now we're on the fourth development of civilization. And we're dealing with Anu and Atum. Anu is the heavenly one, and Atum is Anu's wife. And they occurred after the meteor shower. So we had one meteor shower that was 17 million years ago, and that's when the earth started coming and separated the heavens from the earth. And now we got the heavens, Anu and Atum, and another meteor shower came. So every 24,000 years is a full cycle. We went through all of that, blah, 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 blah. That meteor shower that happened 14 million years ago killed off the dinosaurs, and then now there's smaller humans and animals that exist now. However, there were 13 tribes that survived the that meteor shower from 14 million years ago, and they divided into three families, which are the Pygmies, the Watutsis, and the Hindus.
Mm. I'm looking for some illustrations of those. The Watusi.
And they say they speak on this in the beginning of the Bible, where they talk about the meteor shower taking away the beasts and all that stuff like that before Genesis chapter 1 begins, which is the fifth civilization establishment.
Yeah, I know they ain't got no white folks. There's no damn Watusi on here, yo.
Well, I was wondering. So when I read those three, I was thinking about what you said. Hilarious. What the fuck?
And they talking about dancing. That's definitely not it.
I was thinking about what you said when you said that there was Mongoloids, Caucasoids, and Negroids.
And Negroids.
That's what I thought of when I heard Watusis, Pygmies, and see, I don't know what's what though, because black people are blackwashing everything right now because they don't know what to do with themselves.
No, they're calling themselves people of color again.
So I don't know.
And I don't even like that. Like, why you like? Like we're the void.
But now on some G shit, the Pygmies, the Watusis, and the Hindus, they all were black because white people weren't born until Cain and the
Yeah.
Canaanites. That was the birth of the white man, which is thousands and thousands and thousands, thousands of years later after these stories that I'm saying.
Yes. Watusi tribe.
So we're older than you. It's historically proven we were here first.
Oh, here they
The
go
world
right
is
here.
ours. We inherited it. We the Anunnakis. Hey, hello, friend.
They don't want to get the rise and the fall of Watusi. Yeah, Republic of Rwanda in Central Africa. Come on.
Oh yeah, that's when they was going back and forth about the size of it and Moses being all weird. That are you talking about the genocide in Rwanda when it was it was Pygmies and Watusis, right?
Right. Well, they
That
say
is
okay.
dusty.
Now the Watusi comes from Africa, of course. That's right. Then you got the Tutsi people, which they were at war with the Tutsis. They ain't like them. Remember, they were chopping. They was killing them folks in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I remember that.
Okay, so the Tutsi people are the same as the Batusi, the Tutsi, and the Watusi, or Watusi.
Okay. So it's just like reiterations of the same title.
Probable Nilotic origin who lived within Rwanda. Oh, so were they like the really short people? Oh no, they were tall.
No, that's what the Pygmies were. The Pygmies were the short ones. Those were the leprechauns.
The leprechauns, there you go. Or
Yeah,
they were
those
called
were the
Iwa tribe or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Hindus were like Turtle Island, fucking Australia and Hawaii. That kind of like we got, like the Native American, kind of vibe. Those was all the Hindus.
Now, keep it in your mind, people, that these people are of ethnic. Okay, they're not what you see now.
No.
Okay, they're not what you see now. They are more like the Southern Asianers. If you want to get into the
dark skin ones,
the Dravidians. There you go. And the Aboriginal Australians. That's what them folks look like back then. In fact, them Aboriginal Australians, they dead ass. They still look like they are people back from that time. They're probably the oldest living from back from that time right now. Besides the
some of the older Hawaiians do too, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
The older ones, the younger ones are starting to look a little.
Why they wanted to kill the Tutsis though so bad though? Why they wanted to wipe them out?
Because they wasn't civilizing themselves. They weren't allowing themselves to be colonized. And you have to understand that a lot of the tribes were able to be bought by the colonists and the people that the colonists, because colonists wasn't just white people. It was brown people that taught them how to do that shit. They had just how we got Uncle Toms now, we got little snitch ass niggas now. They descendants of motherfuckers. No energy down here is created or destroyed. Little snake ass niggas like that always been around. So it was brown and black people they had on the boat, and it was like, oh, if y'all on the boat, they'll definitely be cool because they'll see you and think we cool because we with y'all. Yeah, Trojan horses everywhere. So you had to deal with that energy too, and then motherfuckers didn't want to be civilized. They try to fight back. Well, now they got you fighting your skin folk while they sit back laughing, counting all the coins and all the beaver skins and all the crops and the spices and the metals and minerals they just got. And it's crazy because they the ones that's supposed to be mining. We got pardoned because we the descendants of Noah.
Which we're gonna get into that too.
Yeah, we definitely gonna get into that. The descendants of Noah are not supposed to be working. And I wonder if that's tied into declaring your nationality and all that and stuff like that, which we definitely do have a couple episodes we're gonna get into later too.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. This is what is the first part of the 3-part series. So, are we going to get
Hmm.
Noah in the next?
Yeah, we should be getting into Noah and the 12 tribes of Judah in our next episode, which I'm very excited about.
Mm-hmm.
And then our last episode, if we going from Mobites to niggas, we're gonna talk about all the names that we've accepted. And we gonna decode a lot of, because a lot of names that we quick to call ourselves, they're actually derogatory names.
Yeah. Yeah, because they say that we had to take the power back. But I'm like, you're still giving power to something that's negative, though.
Yeah, you're not
Still
taking no
feeding it.
power back, bro. You're still saying the same spell.
Yeah. You're
If
still
that was
feeding it.
true, what's the purpose of getting into etymology?
Right.
If that's
Just
true, why do they base all languages on another ancient language? Like English is based upon a lot of Latin words and ancient
Greek.
Sumerian words and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So they could have just pulled sounds out their asshole. They didn't have to do that.
Mm-hmm. So we got to learn to start calling ourselves what we really are.
Yeah.
And in another tongue. You know how like there's words that you can't translate into the English language, so you have no choice but to say it in that language. I'm learning Swahili, so there are words like that, which they say is made up of different languages, so whatever, Arabic, Dutch, and I don't see it. I really don't see it.
Yeah.
But whatever, go off.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there's words that you can't translate into the English language. You have no option, you have no choice but to say that word in that language.
Mhm.
Yeah, so whatever it is, we're going to find out. We're going to start teaching each other to say that. Okay.
I'm here for it.
That's how you gain back the power.
Yep. And we gonna these next few episodes, we definitely gonna get that information, and I'm excited about it. I can't wait to get to the end of the rainbow, but we gonna enjoy the journey.
You know what? I'm fine with just saying that I'm a light bearer.
Yeah, I'm perfectly comfortable with being present. However, there are some puzzle pieces that I just need to put together in my brain real quick so I could tap into this Akashic record real quick. I got a couple questions.
Oh yeah. Well, it's always gonna be questions. It's always gonna be questions.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like that, on my next anything form that I need to fill out that's regarding like asking me what my race is. I'm like, yeah, I'm a healer. Other, and then what is other? A healer.
Mm-hmm.
An indigenous being.
I am a cosmic nobody.
Benadamu.
But I would like to adopt one of these old ass last names. Like, what was Noah's original name? Not Fishton?
Yeah, we need to go back to their original names too, because Noah was not it.
Noah was not it. I want to go
Noah,
back to
Jacob, Abraham, all them white folk names. This not it. And I know this may sound a bit crazy or whatever, but I'm just speak my mind. When I speak to an African who was born and grew up in African and migrated here to America, and I ask them what their name is, please do not tell me it's Cindy.
I guess Cindy a lot.
It's either Cindy, they choose Mary, something like that, but you got the most ethnic, beautiful last name ever. And you had a beautiful first name, but you're like, I'm just gonna Americanize myself. Like,
like dang. It's kind of like the miseducation of the Negro, where they're like, when you train a Negro to sit by the back door, eventually he'll ask for permission to use it. And it's like we've been beaten out of our names so crazy that motherfuckers just volunteer. Like, just, hey, you know what? At this point, fuck it. I don't even want my name because y'all not going to do it right anyway. Like, bro, we got beat out of our names. And y'all just out here just, hey, yeah,
like, Vietnamese people do it too. The Chinese folks and them Vietnamese, when they come over here, them name be like, I want to be with here. I'm like, okay, what's your original what name is that up there on your certificate in the nail shop? Like Tim, all these names, bro. You chose Tim.
Mm-hmm. Like, no, I wanna learn your name. I like to learn, but the culture that they have been led to believe that is dominant in this country, they don't like to learn about other people's culture outside of their own. So people come into this country with that mindset that nobody wants to learn about their culture. Is you come here and you be American, and when you close your eyes and you think, what's an American? You think
White.
yeah, you think white. White
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
You
Because
either think of sloppy white people or business white people, but still white people.
white folks, even when they get Americanized and they get the, speaking or whatever, they speak like them white folks as well.
Mhm.
I be wanting to hear a fucking, really an Asian accent though come out. And people's gonna be like, "That's racist." I'm like, "Nah," because automatically when I see them a Korean or whatever, I'm expecting him to have his own tone or whatever. I'm not expecting you to be whitewashed.
But they learn how to whitewash themselves from childhood. Those are like classes that they take.
The animes,
Mhm.
all the
It is
animes are
crazy.
whitewashed. Like, yeah, them animes is not a reflection of who y'all look, of who y'all are,
They
and
really
what
be feeding everybody like this American dream in other countries. Like they really be thinking when they come over here, shit gonna be like this and that, and it really don't be.
man, y'all left a good ass country to come over here to pay bills. This is all we do in America. We are a corporation. We live to pay bills. And then we
Mhm.
die. And then the bills are rolled over to our children. But you know what? I want the people to be like, I'll tell my kids, I wish y'all better not pay that shit.
For real. I got and hopefully by the end of the season we're gonna learn how to not pay bills anymore. That's the goal.
Yes, that is the goal.
We're gonna learn the names of our forefathers. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
learn how to claim our nationality. We're gonna learn how to privatize ourselves. We're gonna learn all of that by the end of the season.
Yeah, because
What
we have
I
the episode
wanted,
on sovereignty.
yes.
Mm-hmm. What you were saying, sis?
So I want to close this gap between the 13 tribes that
Mm-hmm.
survived the meteor shower and the first book of Genesis, where now we're dealing with the first replenish of a new 24,000 cycle. So by the end of the second meteor shower we had 14 million years ago, that was the end of a cycle. So now we're in a new one. We're dealing with Cadman, which is son of Lilith in the tomb, Eve, which is daughter of Ptah and Anath, and Hawa Nakaba. And now we're like creating humans in the lab. The lab was called Shimti.
Okay, so those are white people that started becoming created in the lab. I ain't gonna hold you.
No, no,
Because
no. That's supposed to be our story because
oh,
the Caucasians are not born until Canaanites. That's way after Noah. That's like some centuries after Noah and the ark.
oh yeah, I was referring to like the big head people, the story of Yakub or whatever.
Okay, so I guess Enki is supposed to be Yakub.
In a sense, is what it sounds like. He's just not as devious and evil as Yakub had grew to become. Because Yakub was trying to find his ideal white person that he wanted to make lighter skinned. Their head ain't big, you know what I'm saying? Just the complete opposite of what he was in his tribe. Even to the point to where when he started grafting and becoming successful at making lighter skinned human beings, they were tossing them overboard. The dark skinned ones, they were tossing, if they weren't desired, they tossed them overboard. And it took a while for the people to buck on them about that. Like, you're not gonna toss my child across the water. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. He was doing that until he got a white person, less ethnic features as possible. So, sis, if you came out, you would have got tossed overboard too. You know what I'm saying? Because you have the broad nose and stuff, the lips, and yeah, they ain't. I don't know why they got a. I don't know why we have so much of a problem with we.
I don't know. That's different.
I don't know why. I
Look
don't
in
know.
the mirror, niggas.
Yeah, but okay, you said these people that we're speaking of were us that we're creating. we do look a bit different. The first creations of people, right?
Yeah, so my question was, so we got the Pygmies, the Watusis, and the Hindus. Those are supposed to be the ones that were alive during the period of Anu and Atum, which is older than the Anunnakis.
Mm. Okay. If they're the
So,
older than the Anunnakis, and the Anunnakis was supposed to have been what? The first um tribe in Sumeria?
well, the Sumerians are who we get credit to for influencing the rest of civilization as we know it today.
Mm-hmm.
They're not necessarily the first because the Ubadians were in that area before the Sumerians, and they, you know how we
Mm-hmm.
talk about the Sumerians and the mermaids because they were taught
Mm-hmm.
by the seven sages that were like chimeras, human
Yeah.
animal things. Well, the Ubadians, which were in that area before the Sumerians, they were taught by reptilians.
Mm. There were reptile people.
Yeah. And they had like a lot of reptilian art and stuff that they gave credit to. So, as the Anunnakis came from planet Nibiru, and Nibiru only comes around once every 4,000 years. So that means that there's other planets that we be coming around. Because what else did we come around? We were coming around Orion. Oh, let me come back to this. So when we came around Orion's belt, we were coming across aliens that were called Shaggies or something.
So, in the meantime, when you're getting that, sis, okay, so some of our audience having a little difficulty seeing us live. Difficulty. I sent the link to a few people.
On YouTube?
Mm-hmm. But I just went there on my phone because I was checking my messages, but it just repeated everything I just said within a second or two. So, yeah.
Alright, so in addition to we had Anu and Atum. I don't know what planet Anu and Atum were supposed to be from, but we can infer that they were probably from some type of floating island somewhere. And we had the Pygmies, the Watusis, and the Hindus around that time. Um, and then we come back around. Now we've done past the planet of Nibiru. We have them coming down to create miners. Okay, to create miners. Around the same time, we had Shaggies coming from Orion's belt. This is what they look like. Little abominable snowman looking ass niggas.
Mm-hmm. Reminds me of the Abominable Snowman on the Christmas movie I used to love watching.
Where
Yeah, that was one of my
they
favorites.
do. They what is it? Yeti. Yeti.
Yetis. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a popular brand out there called Yeti. Oh my gosh, people die for it. It's
Mhm.
overpriced as hell too.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, the thermos and the fucking lunch bags and stuff. I know what you're talking about.
Like I'm not paying $60 for a water bottle.
I've been in alignment with Yeti bags a few times at different jobs I had. But okay, so I don't know who the Shaggies was mating with, but they was mating with one of these kind of humans down here because then they started giving birth to hirsutism. Hirsutism is what it's called.
Yeah, when you're born with all that fur.
Yeah, and the Shaggies came from the Nirvana star in Orion. So
Well,
when
that's
you hear
very
like,
like these people. They live somewhere in Mexico.
so like that's shadow work that they gotta fucking do, bro, because they really be like claiming themselves being from Nirvana and Orion and Pleiades. Like Palladians that were like baiting on this earth, they were actually really fucking ugly, and they were called flugel rods. I don't
That's
have a photo up here, unfortunately, but it's a sight.
I bet.
But that's like some shadow work they gotta do, because like just like we've been glamorizing and beautifying things that we should be like holding ourselves accountable for, they kind of been doing the same thing. But you know, I'm just gonna keep watering my own grass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just mind your business.
On my grass.
I'm vacuuming my grass too. I'm gonna be looking and trying to figure what the hell's going on. So the results of the Hertuism, he kind of like a fish man, boy. To tell you the truth, I ain't gonna hold you. Look like the fish man right there.
Yeah,
It
they're
looks
supposed to
like
be like hella hairy and
yeah.
I was thinking about what was that? I want to say it was like Mari when they used to be having like unusual people on their shows, and it was actually people that was it was like a whole family. It was a guy and his daughter, and it was hairy as shit. And they were on the talk show. I remember when I was younger, because I think they was on Sally one time too, or Ricky Lake, one of them. And yeah, they look like these niggas.
I ain't gonna hold you. If I was back then, like, bruh, you not touching me.
Very hair, lots of hair going on, and hair traps everything.
Mm, yeah, that's why you're from another planet, sir. Yeah, that's why
Mm-mm.
you're from that planet. The Shaggy
So
man.
that's what was going on around the time. You know, we were around some floating dust nuggets, and we were attracting their natives. So now we got the Anunnakis. They created a lab called the Shimti, and they created people. Oh, this is Noah right here. That's not who I want at the moment. Okay, so Enki and the scientist, his sister, Ash Kugel, I forget. It's somebody, I think that's in Lil's wife. Whose wife is it?
Engie, let me
No,
see.
Ash Kugel. It's like Negro's wife or something. Yeah, that's Negro's wife. They created the humans
Mhm.
to be miners, and then they didn't even want to teach the humans how to mine. They created like the half person, half fish. That's where we get like the stories of the mermaids and the stories of the sirens with the half people, half birds. They created those kind of beings that we have called aliens. We've been calling them angels, archangels, messengers, demons, all these images we created of them, but they were supposed to be created by Enki to provide us with wisdom and teach us how to be civilized and how to do stuff. And that's who Sumerians give the majority, well, that's who Sumerians give their credit to their wisdom, their ability to create all the things they created. And Ubadians gave credit to the half reptilian, half people. So that's on that.
Okay. Now the picture of the sister, that what was her name again? Ashar Luhi.
Where?
Go back to the one with it looked like Big Mama. Yeah, her. Hold on. Is that her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say she was, when
Arishka
I look
Gal.
down here,
Mm-hmm.
she's Hutu and Anana's sister. She's the queen of the underworld, I believe. And her husband is Negro, I believe. I don't know. I think that was her story. She was the one that was married to Dumazid or whatever, and then she ended up being the goddess of the underworld.
I'm looking for like the generation where she is under here. On the
She's all
top.
the way at the bottom.
Aresh Kagal. Okay, I see Aresh Kagal and Guga Lana. Okay. And then their children were Nergal and Laz. Well, no, he married somebody. Oh, that's what Escargal did. He married, raped. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the goddess. Yeah, she ended up going to the underworld. And then Doomsday was being weird about it.
Yeah, why are you raping folks at this point? Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Don't do that.
Like, what?
Alright.
Yeah. Into that.
So that was 49,000 years ago that the humans were made by the Anunnakis. So if you do the math, if it's 24,000 years in a cycle, that's 2 full cycles plus 1,000 years ago.
It's a lot of cycles we went through.
Right. And then if you figure Nibiru comes around every 4,000 years, if you do that math, that means that that was maybe like 12 times ago. And made in 2,000 more years. Well, actually, we lost 1,000 years, so 1,000 more years, Nibiru would be coming back. But they say Nibiru is here now. But if I do this math with the 49,000 years ago, and
so they
Nibiru
found a way
comes
to move
around,
their planet closer to us because they need the gold.
they need to go without the drama. We was too much drama.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even more drama now. they thought the noise frequency was high then.
Right, y'all don't want to come
out
back
now. We're even
y'all
more ghetto now. We're making you pay for the gold now.
Y'all do not want this sauce.
Yeah, we're making you pay for it now, sir.
Okay, so Utu was the god of sun. That was the god of justice, and that's the one that rides the chariot across the sky with the sun. And he tried to help Dumazit from the underworld, which is his brother. And then Ereshkigal is the sister, and she's the queen of the underworld. Negro is the god of war and death, and Negro is associated with Mars, which I find kind of interesting because we started calling Mars, well, Tuesday. I'm sorry, let me check my language right now. But Tuesday became Bi Black Tuesday, and that's associated with Mars. And we kind of use the word, we play around with the word Nergal and Negro and stuff like that for ourselves. So
yeah,
I don't know. It was just like a weird alignment with wordplay for me. Assigning Bi Black Tuesday and Mars and shit.
Nana.
Anana is Ishtar. That's the god of love, beauty, war, justice, and political power. That was a story where she had to choose between the farmer and the shepherd, which was kind of like a reflection or an alignment with the story of the woman that chose between Cain and Abel. She ends up choosing the shepherd because the shepherd had a better dowry, which is Dumazit. Dumazit. I don't know that. But that's who she ends up marrying.
Damuzid. I think it's Damuzid.
Damuzid. Okay, I like that. Dumuzid. And she ends up in the underworld, and then she trades places with Dumuzid. So Dumuzid is in alignment with the seasons because he spends half the year in the underworld and the other half of the year on Earth. So he's kind of like a representation of how the seasons go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when I said I got that picture incorrect with Il Nana? That's supposed to be Gala.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I hate that they did that. And I was like, hold up.
Okay, so that's the wrong picture. Got you.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna bring up the correction of it. Well, I'll show you the picture of Gullah. Well, I'll show you Gullah. Because remember,
so the story.
So that's actually who that is right there. That's Gullah, the same picture where it says Inanna. Always represented with a dog. They said a small dog, but that dogs look pretty big.
Yeah.
Maybe small to them was, well, I forgot these were gods. So yeah,
Mm,
dogs were tiny back then, I think.
I would have thought they would have been bigger. So with the story of like Anu, so Abzu and Tiamat, you had them. They're the primordial gods or whatever. They had created the Anunnakis. The Anunnakis was out here living their best life. Well, they allowed Anu and Ki to create the Anunnakis. And what happened was the Anunnakis were making too much noise, so Tiamat warned Enki. So Enki went to warn Enki that Abzu was coming down to destroy them. You know, be prepared. So what his solution was, he put Abzu to sleep and he
Killed
like killed them. Yeah, he killed them. And then, they were like, somebody's gonna notice. And he's like, well, I'll just pretend to be Abzu. So he went down to the waters, to the ground, the bottom of the waters, and pretended to be Abzu. Now, when Tiamat found out, she got upset and she turned into a dragon because the primordial gods are not personified. They're not really humans. They're energy. They do whatever the fuck they want. So the Tiamat, she turned into a dragon and she came down. And so in Leo, Enki is also a very lazy Anunnaki. He only does one thing a month. So when Tiamat came down and Leo took, the initiative and slayed Tiamat. Now there's different tales of like how Tiamat was slayed, but one is that Tiamat's head was chopped off and that created the earths, and her tail was put into the Milky Way, and her tears created the rivers, Tigris and Euphrates. And that's why a lot of time when you see images of Enlil or even Enki, you'll see two rivers, and those are the rivers of the Tigris and the Euphrates that was created with Tiamat. I like the story of that because that's also in alignment with the images that you see of the snake biting its tail being surrounded by earth. That's what I thought of.
The snake biting its tail being surrounded by the earth?
Yeah, you ever seen those images where it's the snake biting its tail and it's supposed to be like surrounding the earth? It's supposed to be like the border of earth.
That looks like that picture, the first picture, the one that's colored.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Ouroboros. The Ouroboros is an ancient symbol of a snake serpent eating its own tail, variously signifying infinity in the cycle of birth and death. Maybe that symbolizes the earth too, by it looking like that. Maybe that's what that represents, sis. The life and the death cycles of earth. The many, 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 many cycles it goes through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the picture I was referring to, where I said the flat earth kind of look represented that. That one that you said that you like. And then outside of that, it's a polar ice wall.
Oh, yeah.
I just noticed that just now.
Well, it's not always a snake. It's a dragon.
It is.
Yeah. Like when you see like those Nordic rings, how they be like dragons biting their tails. That's like the story. That's what I think of, like that is surrounding the earth. That's Tiamat.
Okay.
And then as above, so is below. So when you think about the midheaven of our sky, which is the center, Draco, the constellation, is actually in our midheaven sky, and that is a dragon constellation. So
right. So
as above, so is below. It's a nice little parallel there. But that's the story with them. And so, there's nothing new under the sun. So what happens again? So what happens is, Anunnakis, the Enki in them, they create the humans, and then the humans start making too much noise. So it's a flip between Anu and Leo that actually want to kill the humans.
What kind of noise you think they're making, sis?
The Native American noise is the
Oh, the fake Native American noise. Well, I don't know. Do they
imagine thousands of them making that shit all fucking night? Yeah, I don't want to kill them too.
Yeah, because okay, this was my theory. This is my theory. So the noise that they're making is not on the frequency that they're used to hearing. So they're worshiping other gods. Now, gods are very selfish. They like to be worshipped by their human creations. Okay. So when you start making different noises like you just did to another god, they ain't representing me, another sun god, like, bro, what is you doing? And like, this is me. This is me. And then you got the Hinduism, Namyo Horenge Kyo, Namyo Horenge Kyo. Like, what are we doing here? So yeah, we gotta wipe them off because you're idolizing other gods.
Yeah, y'all tripping out here for this.
Gods. Your frequency that you were on is not the same. It has changed, and so that's a type of noise that probably they didn't like because the frequency changes. You know, it's different now. That's my theory.
I like it. It makes sense.
That's my theory. Yeah, you start chanting and doing other shit that we ain't used to hearing you do this, and now it's in multitudes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, now we gotta flood the earth, wipe y'all out.
Word, my money is wrong. Yeah, just being annoying as shit. Like you guys are doing too much. It's like having like bed bugs.
Oh.
Or maybe they were like gnats and mosquitoes. Like, I don't like gnats and mosquitoes.
I don't like bed bugs neither.
I don't like them neither. So I could imagine it was giving them the same vibe. Like, these motherfuckers gotta go. Like, they're procreating all over the place. They're like little field mice.
Who told you just loosely just create like this? And then you're not even teaching your children the principles.
And then they're not dying. Like they're immortal. So they're just living forever and procreating, just like popping out babies. Pop, 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 pop. Because there's no pain, no labor. There's no 9-month holding a baby. Like none of that was going on yet.
Y'all running around here like out loose dogs.
Yeah.
Without commands, without loyalty, without anything.
Yeah, we had to end that shit. So what happened was, and Lil had plans on, deading the humans. So Enki went to obnoxious from them. I'm fucking
obnoxiousness. That's where you get the word obnoxious.
You said obnoxiousness. We going to hell. Not fishdom. AKA Noah, gang up in this thing. I feel bad for people who really named their child Noah, thinking they was naming their child righteously.
I know a few people.
But not fished him. Enki came to him and was like, yeah, bro, like, and Lil is coming. He's going to bring a great flood. I need you to build a ship. Now, we always thought that it was like an ark, like a boat. Like
a boat floating on some water. 40 days. 40 nights.
Yeah, we thinking of a slave ship, that's fitting everybody. Like, how you fit all the animals in? No.
How you gather all them folks? How you gather all them animals, sir?
Right. The story is that he told
mosquitoes and bed bugs on your ship, sir.
Yeah, some of these bugs do not have to come with you. How'd you get the octopus in them on there? Well, I guess they didn't have to come, huh?
Yeah, because they used the water. But what about the turtles? The ones that gotta come up from the water, ducks.
I think turtles were more dinosaur. I think turtles evolved into the little turtles now that we know it because of splicing, and when humans started to have the desire to have pets, that's when they started creating smaller animals.
I ain't gonna hold you. When I used to stay in Maryland and I used to find them turtles, you couldn't catch them turtles. They're like crackhead turtles. They fast.
Yeah.
Whoever thought turtles were slow, they move quickly. Okay. That is.
Oh yeah, turtles be on the fucking move.
Turtles.
Don't sleep. I like turtles. They're little cuties.
They
Little
are.
stories.
They just move slower, you know what I'm saying? Because they take their time. They enjoying the day. They're absorbing the energy of the sun. They're absorbing the energy of the ground. They're getting the best of both worlds, yo, in that under that shell of theirs. Then here come along a human being try to snatch them up. Like, oh, I ran one over one time too. I feel
I just
really
want
bad.
to take him home and feed it. That's all I want to do. And talk to him sometimes. Play
Since
some
I ran
radio.
one over at work one
That's
time.
terrible.
I heard it crunch, and everybody was outside, like, "Oh my god!" I had to be the dumbass
Oh,
to run over
people heard you
there.
be a killer.
Yeah, I had turned, and because when I come in there parking, I'm beating, I'm whipping it in or whatever. And I heard this crunch, and it was like, ah! I was like, what happened? I got out, he was gone, and it was the most horrific sight I have ever seen. But I got a chance to redeem myself last year, though, because I saved the turtle. I was driving. This has been a test from God. Like, let's see if she passes this time. And I saw her walking across the crosswalk, and the light was green, so I didn't have to stop. So I stopped, and I was like, oh, I get a chance to redeem myself. Hello, little turtle. Let's get you out the street, and hopefully you'll make it to where you're going. He's probably like, bitch, I wasn't going that way. I was going this way.
Wrong way. Now I gotta go back across the street.
Oh gosh. Maybe I was supposed to just pass on by without stopping.
Sometimes we just gotta mind our business.
Lord, I hope he made it though.
I hope so too. Peace and abundance to that turtle, because turtles can live real long if you let them.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to contain my turtle in a small tank, because what they say, they grow as large as their environment. Well,
that's why I can't wait to get to my land, because I would just let all my animals just be out there, because like we just out here, we free. And
you can come back home whenever, because they got all that land to run around on, sis. So they're loose and living in peace and harmony. They're gonna come back. You ain't gotta worry about school running away and getting lost forever. He might be gone for a day or two to sniff around, but he's gonna find his way back home. Trust me. I had a Beagle Basset mix that did that. He loved to run away and come back home.
The land is so flat, I can see him no matter how far he is. I'll be able to see him. Yeah, so I ain't tripping
like that.
It's flat.
Flat.
Yeah, like I could see. I saw it was just me, and then there was an RV like acres away, like so far down. But like the land was so flat, like I could see it.
You must have some binoculars.
I got some.
Like a curve if you look at it.
After a while, it looked like it'd be curving, but it's not a whole bunch of dips or nothing. I could see straight pretty far.
Oh, okay. You one of them folks. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you farsighted, huh?
Oh, don't get it twisted. The details to my vision is garbage. I don't stand in front of me. I don't know what the fuck you look like, bro.
Cause you farsighted. You and Bug are farsighted. She might be.
I'm nearsighted. I'm nearsighted. I'm both of them, because I can't see far or near, but I can see like the grand scheme of things. Just don't ask me about the details. I don't know. I ain't see that.
That's me with my first glimpse of something. I'm thinking I seen something that really wasn't it. Then when I seen it again, I was like, that is not what I saw. That is completely different from what my mind and my eyes conjured together. Nah, that's not it. Anyways, unofficialism. Unofficium. Man, his name might be Tim Fish a Tuna. And they just mixed around his name.
Tuna Fish Tim.
His name might be what it is backwards, sis.
What if it's just Tuna Fish Tim, because he always was fishing for the tuna?
It might be, sis. It might be. It was like, we got to change it around a little bit, make it like, it was ancient.
Tuna Fish Tim.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Tuna Fish Tim? Yeah. Oh, he's talking about Tuna Fish Tim. The nigga that be over there near in Samaria and and shit. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Tuna Fish Tim.
Name. I'm going to remember this name forever like that, sis. Thank you. Tuna fish Tim. Una fish Tim. Tuna fish Tim. Una fish Tim. Yeah, we're going to, you know what? We're going to make a rap out of that shit too.
Yeah, I got to put his name in a bar.
Yeah. Then we got Shem, son of Nama, and Una fish Tim.
Yeah, these the ones that made it on the ship.
Yeah, the sons and the wives.
He had 3 sons. He had his wife and his 3 sons, and his 3 sons had wives.
Yeah,
so they all made it on the ship. It was actually a spaceship. It wasn't a slave ship. So that's how he was able to fit everybody because, you know, there's a little science, some technology behind that. And, you know, the technology they had back then is way better than the Apple iPhones that we have today because they actually accepted the fact that there were aliens out here in these streets and they were open to communication. But communication was ended when they were kicked out of the, what is it called, the Garden of Delight.
The Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What language were Tuna Fish Tim and Fat and Ham and Shem speaking? And Nama, the mama, the mama Nama.
I don't know. We definitely gotta touch on that when we get to
Hey, sis. Look. Okay, here's the parallel of this, right?
Yeah.
To Nama, the mama. You got the same name as Nama, the mother goddess.
Yeah, because there's nothing new under the sun. Like, he too had to save humanity. He's the newer Adam. You know, you had the original Adam and Eve that were kicked out of the Garden of Delight because they was touching shit.
Mm-hmm. Then you got before them the Adamu and Tiamu.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they had the Pygmies and the Watusis and the Hindus.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, before that, you just had the energies out here. You know, you had the waters, you had the volcanoes and the dinosaurs and the dinosaurs, and then you just had a floating dust nugget in the air. But coming back down to Utnapishtim and Nama, they had so getting down to the beginning of the Caucasoid race. So you have Utnapishtim and Nama. Mm-hmm. They give birth to Japheth. Mm-hmm. And Japheth marries Ifa. And when they get married, they give birth to Javan. Mm-hmm. So let's get to Javan. So here's Japheth with his fine ass.
Okay. I was gonna say I had my dibs on what you call it. He was a strapping young man. Ham. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ham was like he worked at the barbershop. That's Ice Cube right there though.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. He definitely looked familiar.
Yeah, he had cute.
This is Ifa. This is the wife of Japheth. Okay. So they come together and they give birth to Javan. Let's see, where is Javan at?
Javan. I always like that name. They definitely didn't give birth to them.
No. Where is it? Oh, I didn't put it? Okay. So
you were just on it. You were just on something.
Oh, here go. This is Javan. This is the son of Japheth and Ifa. Mm-hmm. So then Javan marries Iris. Where the fuck does Iris come from?
She's a white bitch.
We gotta look her up when we get into the 12 tribes of Judah because he met her and then they gave birth to Kittim. This is Kittim. He is the son of Javan and Iris, and he's also the father of the Greeks or the Ionians.
I ain't gonna hold you. Somebody was lying about that baby because that looks nothing like Javan.
Yeah, he looks more like Iris. But this is probably where you get those dark-skinned Italians, the Romans,
Why his
Some
hair
of
ain't curly
those.
though? Because he got a strong lineages of some negroids.
Well, Javon is black man, so he put some of them. He got the black hair, and this is probably where we get black headed people from.
The Sumerians,
No, actually no, because Sumerians was Sumerians. Never mind. Scratch what I just said.
please.
But yeah, this is I guess maybe he was just light skinned.
Nah, that he ain't the baby daddy. They lying.
I think Iris was out here.
She was out here loose woman.
Well,
Sketa
that's the daughter of Sadaka and Slaverna. So we gotta look them up.
See, her folks knew that Javon come from royalty and shit, and they were chosen people. You know what I'm saying? So she was probably pregnant by her daddy or something like that or whatever. And they was like, put it on this nigga.
What's his name?
Because they did shit like that back then. Let's look it up. Daughter of Shishkata and Seculus. Yeah, that sounds like some Greek shit.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
How you shish? What is it? Shish conk? Shish conk?
I'm looking for it now because I got the actual book that these pictures came from.
Shish onk.
Ooh.
So it's really Shishonk 1, the first. Also spelled Shosink. The second dynasty of ancient Egypt.
Damn, what page is this?
Somebody lying about that picture.
It can't be. Well, you figure if they did have flugel rods, okay, Shishaki.
Here go, Shoshink. Here goes. But they might how? Because everybody well then hold on, sis. If Javon is the son of what you call it, how he go and find him a maiden somewhere and had a baby if everybody in the world was gone? If the flood was global. That's the part where we get stuck at right there. Because there were supposed to be no more people, right, that survived this flood.
Right, and this is after the flood. But hold on. So Shishak is a pharaoh.
Right.
That took over Jerusalem.
Here's his
in the 10th century BCE.
Here's his sarcophagus or whatever right here. And he had locks. Is that what they call their tomb? Sarcophagus? I mean, their coffins. Why my phone acting so slow today?
Okay, so Shishak conquered Jerusalem during 10 BCE. I don't know if we're talking about the same Shishak because
Yeah, I
you know
question
how everybody just keep having the same names over and over again.
that.
His wife's name is Seleucus.
I know they named the flower after her, Iris, Pharaoh's daughter.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna say Iris, Javon's wife of Javon. Yeah, that's Iris.
I want to know the lineage of the Shishak guy. And I don't see anything about her mom anywhere,
Yeah,
Seleucus.
she look like Kim Kardashian. And he looked like Kanye West, to tell you the truth, though, right there. Javon and Iris. Why are they not showing me like the information?
Hmm. That's some digging we gotta do for our next episode, definitely. When
Yeah,
we get
definitely
into
we
the
gotta do some
flood
digging on
time.
that.
Because I would like to know the lineage of Shishak and Seleucus and where they were at during the Great Flood and where they came from. Because and maybe you could pinpoint them back from to the Shaggies and Orion, or maybe the Flugelrods and the Palladians, because she does look Palladian. Palladians were the blonde hair, blue eye.
Yeah, but her hair looks straight too.
So we have Palladians were white people.
Mm-hmm.
So we got an Anunnaki and a Palladian over here making babies, and they created the Java Man. um,
Okay, so uh, they're saying that on a fish Tim had Gilgamesh characteristics. So I think we gotta go.
Gilgamesh is way late. Gilgamesh is supposed to be this epic hero
Right.
that defeated, a bunch of gods that kept coming his way.
Yeah.
He's like the Superman story.
Yeah.
He's like the first Superman story over here. He's the son of Ninsun and Lugal Banda, but you don't really hear too much their stories are kind of like one dimensional. They just kind of like exist, if you will.
Oh. Unak Pishtim. So the F is supposed to be a P.
Okay. I don't
Unak.
know.
Okay. Is tasked by the god Enki to abandon the worldly possessions and create a giant ship to be called preserver of life. In Era and Isum, Marduk is said to have been the originator of the flood and the seven sages. Okay. Now I'm gonna put children on a fish tomb.
So the seven sages came after the flood?
They were in charge. They were the ones that started the flood as well. Okay. Yeah, they were working along with Marduk. Remember Marduk? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna show our audience Marduk.
Marduk is the child of Enki and Ninhursag. And what happened was, Sumerians are the ones that are telling the stories of the Anunnakis. So you have the Sumerians and the Akkadians and the Assyrians. By the time you get to Babylon, they only gave credit to Marduk. So the story of Enlil defeating Tiamat turned into Marduk defeating Tiamat. The story of Enki, all the times Enki saved humans from
Mhm.
Enlil and Anu when they were getting tired of the humans, that turned into Marduk being the one that did all of that. So he kind of took on all the glory from Enlil and Enki. By the time we get to the time of Hammurabi and the Babylonians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why I was saying earlier. It depends on who is telling the story, because they have the Babylonians telling the story from the Samaritan point of view or whatever, or Babylonian point of view, and then you have the the Anunnaki story, or the what's the other one? Assur.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
It's funny how they say Unapishtim is the myth, but Noah is like the truth.
No, what really fucking happened, right?
Yeah, Noah really fucking happened, but Unapishtim, yeah.
That's how I feel about Genesis. Like, okay, so we had a bunch of guys sitting around saying, "Let us make man in our image," but the story of Enki and then Lil is far fetched. Like, what makes one real and the other one not? What are you talking about right now?
One is Christianity, and Jesus actually lived, and the other people are actually just mythology.
People who get sucked into Christianity, they really get sucked into it. Like, it's the mindset for me. Yeah,
Because Jesus came from the same line from Adam and Noah, and that's why it makes Noah and them true.
That's Una Fishtum. What are we talking about? It's Una Fishtum.
Yeah. Tuna fish Tim, like what you talking about?
No, it's Tuna Fish Tim, nigga. It's the nigga that was over there fishing.
We seen that nigga. He was fishing because he said the world about the flood. These are the people that survived the flood from the other countries. Now, okay, here we go. This is how it played out.
Moses is a Levite. And when we get into the 12 tribes of Judah and stuff, I would definitely like to get into all the lineages that occurred after Noah. And I also would like to address these 13 tribes that survived Anu and Antum and where they at. But yeah, so coming back around, keeping in mind that when Moses wrote the story, Moses is a Levite, and Levites were around like centuries after the Sumerians, talking about Enki and Enlil. And you got to think, like, it was a lot of empires between Samaria and Levites. A lot of empires and took over, rewrote books, tore down statues, rebuilt statues and stuff between, these empires. So by the time Moses gets around to the story, like, it's different.
And also Tuna Fish Tim was the only one that was granted immortality.
Okay, so his wife and all of them, they wasn't immortal. It was just Tuna Fish Tim. There should be a show about that. That sounds like a really interesting television show.
Yeah, and Tuna Fish Tim became a god when he got his immortality.
Mm-hmm.
He was he and his wife, were defied by God in Enlil. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and also Marduk is associated with Jupiter.
I feel that Jupiter energy right there.
Yeah.
Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that Zeus energy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He is like the Zeus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's where they got Zeus from him, Marduk. I believe so. They remix.
We got more of a Zeus feel from Anu.
Huh?
I would have got more of a Zeus feel from Anu because they were the ones that had the Anunnakis The Anunnakis give me demigod vibes, like Hercules and them.
Yeah.
And then you got, okay, so here's another story. So when Lil and then Lil were married, right? And Lil, you know, and then Lil eventually leaves Enlil. No, sorry, wrong story. Enki, and then her sag. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong names. So Enki and his wife, they were together, right? She eventually leaves him. So then he runs into his daughter, not realizing she was his daughter, and they
How do you
made
know that's your kid?
I don't know. He don't know who his kids are. And then
Daddy vibes. Inky, come on.
yeah. And then it happens again with his granddaughter and his great granddaughter. So, then Hersak finds out that he just keeps mating with his kids and his kids, and she makes Enki grow ill, and then she heals Enki by creating a god to heal each part of his body. That led to the creation of 8 more gods that control the different parts of his body, and you can make the parallel between those and the 8 chakras in ourselves.
I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that. That's probably where they get that from too. That's probably where the Hindus started to, you know, because a lot of different cultures still, you know, were inspired. Inspired. That's what the white folks like to use. Inspired a lot of these stories.
Yeah, but we're like the Sumerians is the original story as far as we know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the original story. Like the Bible is not older than this. For all the Bible thumpers that want to hop in the comments right now, like we're far behind the Bible right now. We're not even. We're showing how it's actually copied off of the story of the Sumerians. It's just written in fancy lettering.
Right. Being that the English language is a dominant language over here on this side of the globe, right? And the religion is dominant. The stories in the biblical sense are true, and these other stories are far-fetched. And they don't want you to discover new religions or practice them or even study them because they're going to say that they are false. And that's a form of blasphemy as well, I believe. Or it's a sin. What have you. But that's to keep your mind closed in, you know what I'm saying, just to one religion, one belief. Because at one point in time, hell, I thought it was everything. I thought it was right. And then my mind started wondering, like, oh, this can't be right.
Mm-hmm.
Some things just don't add up. Especially when you start having questions about, you know, about self. Even when you start questioning God, the reasoning of the Christian God, in a sense.
Well, I'm hoping that as we get into the Mesopotamian gods and as we get into the story of the Bible and stuff, we'll start to see the separation between the mythology from like what's actually really history and actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully be able to break it down in layman's terms because you know niggas got a tendency to like exaggerate when we tell stories, you know. Sometimes things aren't as like big as what we call them. Or maybe some things just need to be said in layman's terms so they can stop sounding so fancy and Shakespearean when really it's just like an everyday occurrence. Like how they describe when the one guy nutted on the dirt and shit. Like they made a big deal about it because it was the first time a guy jacked off. But like you guys just like made it so poetic in this book, but he really just jacked off and nutted in the dirt.
Yeah, I heard that. And then plants began to grow. It became magical. And then people started coming out of the ground. They started being plant people. Yeah. I mean, it's the same, like in a sense, like hell, putting Adam to a deep sleep, reaching inside his body, taking a rib,
Mhm.
forming a woman with a rib, and boom, you got a woman. So all women come from men, though. Let's not forget. Or
Yes.
do we?
I don't know. Mm.
I'm trying to find the family tree of Noah. So I think I found one. It's a bit blurry, of course. Oh no, that's Enki. They love to just give me some stuff that I ain't asking, that I'm not asking for right now.
Mm. After the flood, Enlil agreed to give Utnapishtim immortality, but reduced the lifespan of humans, reduce the ability to, be fertile. So not everybody can have a baby. Now you got the 9 months and the pain and all the complications and things, different things that can happen, and also made humans more vulnerable to different things that could happen. So kind of like, downsized our immune system and stuff. Um, so the initial downgrade of humans were when they got kicked out of Eden, for eating from the apple of agreeable and disagreeableness. Um, and that was when they were cut off from communication with the Anunnakis, and they they lost their ability of teleportation, clairvoyance, and all of that
Okay.
during that time too.
Okay. That's like when you lost your communication that you can speak directly to God in the Bible.
Mhm.
Now you had to go through a third party.
Yeah, they lost that when they got kicked out of the Garden of the Light.
Only for certain people were allowed to speak to God after that.
Yup. But
Mm-hmm.
that's what I have. I got, we had the primordial gods, gave birth to the Anunnakis. The Anunnakis killed their dad. We can make that parallel with Kronos and how Kronos' kids killed him. And then they split through his head and all that. And it just goes to show how all different mythology stories actually all derive from the Sumerians, including the Bible. I'm not super versed with the Quran, so I don't really know what the Quran tells. But if you get into this literature that I'm reading, um I'm waiting for them to give me a PDF link so I can provide you with the link if you want to get into the book yourself. But
Mm-hmm.
this one is called, where are we at? Where are we at? Oh, I didn't even put that either. Well, this joint is called People of the Sun. That's the name of this book where I got a lot of these visuals from.
Right.
Um this is the book right here. Not only does it talk about the Bible scriptures that support the different things that we talked about today, but it also talks about the different scriptures in the Quran that support what we're talking about today as well. I'm not going to speak on the Quran part too much because I didn't dig into that. My eyeballs were set on the Bible part. But by
You can
next week,
purchase
when we
this
talk about
book
the 12 tribe
for
of
10
Judah,
cents
I'll be
in
able to talk about it again.
1999.
Jeez.
No, we ain't gonna hold you. You can get the PDF form, you guys.
Yeah, we don't get the PDF for y'all. Um, but yeah, that's the story. They created the Anunnakis, and then the Anunnakis start off Genesis, where they're creating man in their image to mine the gold on the land so that they could take it back to their planet of Nibiru, where they need the gold to sustain, their stuff there. So they create the humans. They start to get irritated by the humans. Inky tries to save the humans. He provided the humans with wisdom by creating the seven sages. Then we got the eight chakras that came from the healing of Enki. The descendants of the Anunnakis brought forth the seasons. Uh, Ishtar, the goddess of fertility, the solstices and the equinoxes. Um, they really brought details to, like, natural disasters and things like that. So that's more so what the descendants of the Anunnakis do. and Marduk was kind of given like dubbed the king of the gods. So he was kind of like presided over all those descendants, if you will. So yeah, then I guess he was kind of given kind of the Zeus vibe. Um, and now we're here with the humans, you know. We've made it down to what was her name?
Old girl with Ingrid, what you call it?
So these are the scientists.
Risky stuff. Mm-hmm. They were all scientists, right? Now, what I was gonna say, that remind me of the big head people. Yakub and them.
Oh yeah. That's what's supposed to sound like. Now I'm wondering which story is older, Yakub or Enki.
Mm-hmm. The story of Yakub goes back to 6,000 years ago. 6,600 years ago. So, the last moon cycle.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's supposed to be Jacob, though. So, that's probably going to be in our third episode of this series. Of this series.
Word. I would also like to get into the story of Cadman, which is the son of Lilith and Neptune, and Eve, which is the story or the daughter of Ptah and Anath, because they're supposed to be the Adam and Eve in the Genesis chapter 1. That's when we get into the story of being kicked out of the garden by the Anunnakis because they eat from the tree. They make Hawa Nikaibo. They created that in the lab called Shimti, by the Anunnakis. I did have a visual, but it's not up here. I'll have that visual next week when we get into the 12 tribes. But that was, the person that they made in their lab. And that was 49,000 years ago.
So I'm looking at this, story of Yakub, and this one is from I believe the Quran, excerpts from Quran or whatever. It's nothing like the big head people. So you have to I found that story. I have a YouTube video I can show you on that one, where we can get excerpts and clips from that for our episode.
Oh, also, so we talked about the maps, right? And how they be hiding land masses. And I was coming across this story about them talking about how the maps were in the Bible and how it was intentional. We're talking about the time of Hammurabi, which was when Babylon was in power. Everybody knows Babylon was a time of spiritual lowness because people were doing like very scandalous things with their energy. So the idea was that they took Turtle Island, which is the America, North and South America as we know it right now. They took that off the map for some generations, to the point where like it was forgotten, and then put it back, and then went out and discovered it and put it back on the map. But the intentions behind that was to recreate Babylon. Now, when you get into the story of Marduk, and how they whitewash Marduk in Greek and Roman mythology into being the god of all the gods and giving him a Zeusy vibe. Well, that's kind of the vibe that we get. Well, the images they gave us with God and Jesus over here, is it not?
Yeah, it's still the same.
So it's still giving Babylon vibes.
It very much is so. Very
it's like
much
God
so.
And all the archangels.
Except in, Sumerian And Lord, I can't pronounce the eight ones.
The Assyrians, the
Yeah,
Akkadians.
the Syrian, because I don't want to mix it up with something else. That's why. Yeah, the Syrians and the
Mhm.
Akkadians. Yeah, they, you know, remix and spin it off, and you know, and change the names up and give you a similar story though, over and over again.
Yep.
This time it's worldwide.
Right.
You even got people that you didn't even know knew about these stories or in worshiping.
People
You
don't even know why or how. It was the Bible. The
Yeah,
Bible did it. That
yeah.
really got people like, just doing away with everything. Like, bro,
Mhm,
it's so many times we heard this story, but the one
mhm,
time you hear it in the Bible, it's correct. Okay. But
mhm.
we're way older than the Bible, and our stories that sound exactly like the Bible story are older than the Bible. But okay. Okay.
When did a person actually get a first copy of the Bible? Who received the first copy of a full, complete Bible?
Had to be in the time of the Levites or whatever empire was thereafter. But by the time the Levites, fell down, whatever empire took over them, probably, added their little pieces, their little New Testament to the Bible that they knew of back then.
Okay, the Levites were around in Moses' time, right?
Well, we can say that the first Bible was left behind during the Stone Age in the fucking mountains when they was talking about the mermaids back then. Or we could say the Bible was left by the Ubadians that left all that literature and stuff about the reptilians. Or that the first Bible was written in cuneiform by the Sumerians when they told the stories of Enki and Enlil. Or it was written by the Akkadians when they took over the Sumerians or the Assyrians.
What language
Or
was the Bible that we know of, the Holy Bible? What language? What's the first language the Bible
Hebrew. Hebrew.
in Hebrew?
Yeah.
So they had it first. They had the first from Genesis to Revelations, right?
I don't think it was Genesis to Revelations. I think the Bible took a very long time to write. The Bible is not just one empire. It's a collective of empires.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those books that it's like having like the what is those historians, the people
Mm-hmm.
that you dub in the neighborhood to just record history, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's like a collection of scrolls that they put into one book. They
Right,
paraphrase into one book.
right.
So I think it took a long time to get to Revelations. Like we're talking from the Levites to the fucking Europeans, King Henry. Cause wasn't it Nostradamus that I mean, you know what? I don't even want to speak on that until I start doing my research
Mm-hmm.
about like who wrote the Bible and stuff like that. But between the next few episodes, we're definitely going to get into that.
I heard Shakespeare wrote the Bible.
Jesus Christ. Shakespeare couldn't spell cat.
Yeah, because somebody else wrote his plays for him, though, right?
I also heard that Shakespeare never existed. It was just their way of putting a white face on top of black art. You
Mm-hmm.
can't tell me that the Moors was ruling shit, and then all of a sudden, the same year that Columbus and whoever decide to, fight back against the Moors, that same year, all of a sudden, Shakespeare and all these motherfuckers and Mozart and all them started creating the gold renaissance. Fuck you guys. That was our shit, and y'all whitewashed it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what happened, and that's why you guys died of the Black Death, you dirty hoes.
The Black Plague. The
A
Black.
plague on all your houses.
Uh-huh. The Black Plague. Yeah, it was the Black Plague, all right.
For real. Stinking asses. But
Shortly
that's what I
after the Black
got.
Plague, after they survived the Black Plague, then they wanted to colonize the rest of the country. Ha 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 ha. Once they knew how to take a bath.
The only other thing that I got was in Lil, he had the tablets of destiny, which like told like all of life, and you could time travel with the tablets of destiny. and they were stolen once. I believe Marta took them in response to something that happened between Elil and Enki. Also, one time Nana got drunk with Enki and she stole his blueprint to civilization while he was asleep. And
Yeah,
then eventually they had a treaty.
they were very mischievous towards each other. They was
Yeah.
they were all mischievous towards each other.
They just
But
be
they
doing
worked,
stuff.
but they worked together in ensuring that human civilization was going to happen and continue.
Mm-hmm.
Because they couldn't trust each other, but they can trust them humans to do what they need to do. Some of them, the ones who weren't making so much noise.
True. But that's the last bit of information I got. You got anything else on these before we close out?
No, because if we give anything else or whatever, hell, we'll be rolling into the second episode of this. The second part.
Right. We done already gave y'all bits and pieces on Ootna Fish Tim.
Yeah. Tuna Fish Tim.
Tuna Fish Tim.
Can we name it Tuna Fish Tim?
He's somewhere pissed right now. That's not my name.
Oh yeah, he is a god though. So I'm sorry, Tuna Fish Tim, but they don't know how to
say Tuna Fish Tim.
They don't know his name. It's either on the fish Tim, Tuna Fish Tim,
Tuna Fish Tim.
then Noah, the spinoff.
I'm not calling that nigga Noah. His name is Ootna.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe they did their names like Latin. Took off, put the first consonant last, and then the first vowel, the last vowel first, or whatever. Some shit.
Right.
Pig Latin. I mean, my bad.
Oh, Pig Latin would have to end in an AY.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just gonna call my man's Oot. He look like a Oot. Oot.
Oot.
But yeah, that's all we got for you. The stories of the Anunnakis is kind of like cut and dry. It's really the story of us thereafter that gets really interesting. We're the interesting piece to this whole puzzle.
Indeed.
So we're gonna get into all of that in our next couple episodes. So thank you guys for joining us for our first part of our 3-part series of Aboriginal Ancestors. This is the story of Enki. I am Sunshine Monet L.
And I'm Danielle. And this presentation was brought to you by Less Nobody's Collection and Body and Yoni Essentials. We gotta start doing that too. We gotta start putting that in there.
Yeah, we gotta put our stuff up there. That's all.
We're gonna do it, y'all. We're gonna do it. It's slowly coming together.
Yeah, we're gonna get it together. No worries.
Yeah, we will.
Peace, y'all.
You need to stop with that hate and all these man-made religions. It's only one savior, one law, one holy kindred. So stop the
My
hate.
God too big for only one religion, only one vision. If we a reflection of one, why the division? People miss the lesson, looking at the mission. People overlooking blessings, too concerned with isms. People coming to confession, no discipline in them. People missing the message, just dancing to the rhythm. Man think they can comprehend the infinite. Can't even see the limitations while being symbolist. Why you need these images for your religious stimulant? To see the divine, align, and then go within. To change your outside, undergo internal transformation. No energy is destroyed, we eternal creation. Stand on your square if you seek in circulation. I'm on another frequency, fathom this vibration. I bring a different energy, I know I'm so outstanding. Ahead of toe, respect your location.
Our Father is one, that's why we crushing your idol. We don't break bread with you devils, we setting face to our rivals. You need to stop with that hate and all these man-made religions. It's only one savior, one law, and one holy kindred. So stop. Our Father is one, that's why we crushing your idol. We don't break bread with you devils, we setting face to our rivals. You need to stop with that hate and all these man-made religions. It's only one savior, one law, and one holy